Hey guys, Caesar here. Finally got my Atari 2600 working. I wanted to show you guys really quick. This is it. As you can see, I did the mod on the video output so that it no longer uses RF, and I'm super excited that after months of waiting, I say a good 3 months of getting parts and then ordering, I just wasn't, I didn't put my full attention to it. I kind of just work on it on my free time. I got it working. So let's get right into it. All right, I got some great news on this update here of my 2600 Atari. My office is a mess with parts everywhere. As you can see, there's the top. I took apart the motherboard, took apart the plate. I changed all the capacitors. You can find the capacitors and the components over at console 5. You replace this chiclet here. I replaced this rectifier. I believe it's a power rectifier. I believe that's what it's called. Changes big capacitor here. And I noticed that there was some leaking. You can still see some of that residue. This right here is the RF module. I basically desoldered it with using my desolder tool and took this guy off. I'm not going to use it because I don't plan to go RF. And I ended up converting it to one of these bad boys. And I found this on Alibaba for like $4. It was cheap. Probably more expensive to ship it than anything else, but there's a video showing the audio, and this one does not have an audio. This one just has video. It has 5 volts and it has ground. And then it comes with everything you see here. I had to solder the resistors, transistors, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I used my own wiring because I wanted better color coding. So for video, I use blue. For voltage, I use this like orange red one because that's all I had there. And this pair, actually I think this was from an old Nintendo NES that was broken, so I just used the wires. And then this guy here is your ground. I use white for ground. And then and this is the input, right? So this comes from the board. So let me show you where all that comes from. You're gonna get this guy here, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And you're gonna solder that yellow right there, and that's your audio. That's how you pull audio out of there. At the same time, right behind this guy, you see those 3 prongs? You're gonna nip those off because you're not gonna need that anymore. That was for the RF portion. So you're gonna cut that guy off, and you're done there. I also replaced these as part of console 5. I don't know if it was necessary. I just did it because it's nicer to have newer parts, and it wasn't that expensive. I already had some of these capacitors, but they also send you these capacitors. I changed that guy out. I changed, here's another one here somewhere. Let's see. Okay, so let's go back to this wiring here for this conversion. So you see that little strip right here? Oh yeah, there's the other one I was thinking about. Right in here, let me zoom in there. So that orange one goes there. That's your power. That's your 5 volts. So you're getting 5 volts there. You're getting ground at the very end. You're gonna skip number 2. 5 volts is number 3, and then your video is number 4, and you're not gonna use number 5. And essentially, you run those cables. As you can see, I'm not using the extra wire that I had in here, so I'm gonna nip that off because you don't need it. So let's go through this again. You got video for blue, which comes from there. You got 5 volts that comes from power, as I showed you here. And then you got your ground that comes from that other ground right there. And once you pass all this through, you'll notice that your yellow one, which is your audio, doesn't have a connection. What I'm gonna do is basically jump them. I already tested this out and it works perfectly. I'm gonna make a jump from here to here, just quick shrink tube it, and then you'll be good there. And as far as the other ones, these are again extra wires. This brown one not gonna be needed. This 5 volt is not gonna be needed because there's no voltage going to these bad boys. So the kit that I bought for video conversion came with these here. And this is how I drilled it in the back. Not perfect, but I think it came out pretty decent. You got your video and your audio. Your audio you're gonna run, the way it looks like back here is you're gonna run a negative on the outer pin. So you're gonna jump that negative ground. I call it negative, but it's ground from here to here. So all those are ground, okay? And then your audio is just gonna be the yellows going across the bottom there. So it's gonna basically be yellow going here and here because it's all mono. There's no stereo in these old systems. Let's see what else. That's it. That's it. Your video, like I mentioned, is blue, so that goes right there. That's gonna be your yellow one there, and you already know about ground, which is the white one, and that completes the circuit. This was a lot. This whole system was a lot of $60 of like 5 systems, and this happened to be one of them. As you can see, it's broken here, but it's not going to hinder the gameplay. I'm a little heartbroken that it's broken because I want it to look decent, but it's okay. It had the player 1 port broken off, so I jerry-rigged a connection there, trying to do the best possible, trying to make that connection. It wasn't easy. This player 2 doesn't look so bad, but someone was rough playing the sucker. You know, for being the 1980 system, this is the Atari, I believe, revision 2600 revision 14. And there's some pretty good schematics online for this stuff if you need it, but there's the other chiclet right there that came with my kit. I replaced this guy too. Even though I didn't need it, I just did it anyway. Let's see. The schematics are pretty good over at Console 5. Let me show you the bottom. I'm gonna go through and just rebrush this with, make sure there's no flux. I highly recommend a desolder tool though. They work really well to take a lot of these components off. As you can see over time, a lot of the green coating gets bubbled up. Right there. There's my revision. If this helps you guys, feel free to comment below if you have any questions. Atari 2600, revision 14, 1980. And if you guys don't know the story between me and the system, this was actually the very first system, as I mentioned in some of my past videos, that I took apart when I was like 5 or 6. My dad got me into electronics, and I've pretty much been a fan of working on old systems since I was a kid. And kind of fell back into it in my adult years as a passion, and it's just kind of fun. So I may not have all the technical know-hows, but I can put stuff together and kind of follow circuitry and continuity and kind of follow where everything goes. And the wording isn't always the best, so I apologize for that because I'm not a super expert at electronics. I study more computer software and a little bit of hardware in schooling, but always just have a knack for making things work. And I'm just so proud this thing works. So here's the gameplay, and this is called Kaboom. Oh crap, it works. It works. Oh man, I brought this baby back to life. Just gonna wire this up, but I think I got the sound working too. That's a red one right there. And let's go. Doesn't get more retro than that.